Do 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 do. You do 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 do. Ooh. Greetings, Nubby. Oh crud! I got my audio going to the wrong place here. Let me fix that. All right, hold on. I'm still picking up stuff. I'm trying to get things ready here. Good afternoon indeed. So I think Star just posted some news. So I thought I should stream. And get your feedback on what you thought about that news. Hold on, I'll get the raffle going. Dun, 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 dun. I don't have cats. I used to have cats. I used to be a cat person. When my wife and I met, I was a cat person. She was a dog person. And so we have the website. I made a website, Dog Meets Cat, for her because she was a dog and I was a cat. But so I hate even talking about it with so few people in the stream because I know it's going to go. There's going to be the same questions asked over and over again. Hold on, let me get the raffle. Let me get the important stuff out of the way here. Let me get a raffle going. It's just here testing stuff to make sure that crap over there worked. Let's see. Thank you, Lancel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Fakan, a.k.a. Toto. I see you changed your name. That's very good. I cannot believe cannons are still broken. And my dog does look like a cat, that's true. Do. Let me get, do we have any cats? We have cats, right? Zombie cats? Clockwork cat? What about that chubby cat? What's that chubby cat called? All right, we're going to do a Siamese cat here to start off. Oh, hold on. I got to restart it. I'm sorry. Wedgie. Siamese cat. All right, and if you have questions about it, ask them in the questions thing. I got that open. Okay, now the important thing, raffle is there. Engineer, so I can answer that. So any like seed invest or any investors, all that stuff is still being handled. The rules for it change a little bit, but not much at all. There's still a corporate entity that is managing this. But that is one you need to talk to VLPC if you want specifics on. But honestly, it clarifies what's going on because it simplifies things in terms of that. But there's some things I just can't talk about due to legal reasons, which, trust me, makes me want to explode that I can't talk about stuff for legal reasons. But that's one of them. But all of it's still the same and almost the same. It's not the same, but it is still the same situation that if I do well, Catnip Games does well, then investors do well. But for specifics, you can talk to them. But there's still actually an entity that's handling all that. So I forgot to send you the Grim Reaper mask and statue. Well, let me do that now. Yeah, and I saw I had 16 emails when I logged on. There you go. Let's see if I still have that junk. Grim Reaper statue and mask. Bam, bam. Okay, let me get that out of the way. Why do I not see anything appearing in my questions thing? Hey, House of Mangar, thank you for the raid. Sorry for the lateness. Sorry for jumping on right. I think I saw you started streaming at almost the exact same moment I did. Yeah, so the short version looks like we're up to like 60 people. The short version is nothing's going to change. It's one of those things, it actually happened a while ago, but it's one of those things we're going to have to announce because like investors and stuff like that, we felt like we had to announce something because if we didn't, then probably someone on Reddit or someplace would do some request for data on something and it would get out the wrong way. So we decided to announce it the right way. So this is the official announcing. But again, as far as things changing, Richard... Let's see, I'm trying to remember. I'm not allowed to say there's all these crazy things I can't say according to the lawyers. And one of them is saying that Richard's role has not changed at all. Richard is still going to be as active as he has ever been in terms of the community stuff and with the game. The stuff that's changing with his responsibility is actually dealing with the corporate entity. So... But again, I have to refer you to VLPC, and I can't get too specific on a lot of stuff. But yes, the team, not much is changing with the team. Oh, Atreon. Yeah, you can go read the thing. I guess you guys can't link it in chat. I'll have to go post it. I'll go ahead and link it. Since half the people know about it and half do not. So also like Star's role is not changing. The team, like nothing is changing on the team because of this. What I can tell you, did you guys ask any questions yet? There you go, now you're asking some questions. Mia Sway, good question. Who is in charge of sending out Friday stream gifts? Last week and the week before have not gone out. So those should have gone out. I looked and I saw that Undone did not the 4th, but he did the ones from the 27th and the 20th. So last Fridays have not gone out yet. But I thought the ones from the Friday before that had gone out. He marked them as sent out. Griffler has a question. Can you elaborate on why this happened? I can elaborate some. I mean, I can kind of tell you the high-level stuff. I can't go into too terribly much detail. Again, just the legalese type stuff. But having the company the way it was set up before, there were a lot of requirements on it just due to the type of corporation it was, including like a big board of directors. Those type corporations, you have to have a CEO, a CTO. You have all these different requirements that are on things. So that's one thing I will again confirm is that I was not the CEO of the company before. Although some websites don't seem to believe it because there's some tax document that our accountant filed at some point that listed me as CEO. But anyways, there's a lot of overhead. The filings that were involved with things were costing us thousands per month. The end of year taxes, doing taxes for it, costing thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So there was a huge amount of overhead involved in it with it and no benefit. We wanted to make sure that's one of those things we want to be around forever. And that's one of those things that when we looked at things like, okay, one, what is keeping us from expanding the team and costing us tons of money? And two, what are the risks that apply to the company? And it all had to do with the same thing. So basically the reason for it, there's several reasons, but the other reason is it also gives more freedom in terms of like deal making and stuff like that. Is before it was trying to talk to anybody was painful and had to go through a lot of hoops. So this opens up things a lot in terms of deal making. And no, I'm not talking about selling or anything like that. This is more in stuff of like one of the things that's coming up that'll be happening is we're going to be doing cross promotion stuff with I've got 3 other games that we're going to be cross promoting with that I think will be very beneficial with us or for us. I can't name what they are. But they are 3 have already signed on. I'm trying to get more signed on. They have similar audiences that basically we just haven't done any cross promotion stuff in a while. So anyways, and also working with other companies, like trying to get in with a company where we work with another company, because there's always down cycles for some people. Not on our team, but other teams have down cycles. And there's just in town, there's like 3 games that are MMO games being made using Unity that all have some similar tech to them that, again, there's so many possibilities. So, but again, there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about. I have a list of things I can talk about and kind of a good idea, but trying to not get in too much trouble here. But again, the important thing is nothing really is going to change. We are actually going to take this opportunity to make some of those changes to just some stuff that's been around forever that we've wanted to change. We're actually going to go pull off some band-aids on things. I see there's a question on Waxman 007. Will I still get my reward? And I can show you what was actually holding up your reward, which is I just had lunch with Richard. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Here's what was actually holding up your reward. Or your box. Hold on. Let's see if I can figure this out. That's showing up there. This is sitting with Richard at lunch while he signed these things. That was actually the thing that last time we did the box packing, we basically packed all we could and then we ran out. This was lunch today. And so we just took those over and had Richard go through and sign enough of the things so we can actually finish the boxes. So we should get back to shipping boxes again. For those who don't know, there's like 100 and something boxes, like less than 200 boxes that I have on a list that have not been shipped. Many of which have not been shipped because the address hasn't been confirmed, that type of thing that's been going on for years. The people, there's a thread in the forums, I'll keep meaning to go reply to it and tell them, looking at it, but almost every one of those, I've been looking through them and making those into a list. Almost every one of those is listed as having received their box. So, not that I don't believe them, it's just, hey, thank you very much, Vegas BLT, and thank you very much, Jezebelair, follow, and Darth Moots, follow. Yeah, so just trying to go through and try and understand what happened, but we seem to have had a lot of people who we believed got boxes and did not get boxes. I mean, we're not talking in the hundreds, but definitely in the dozens. So trying to sort through that because I also don't have enough boxes and I'm having to make some more, and it looks like I'm going to have to get some shipped from Amazon to get the box and then go and pack all the stuff because we got the stuff to pack in them. But anyways, Antrax is here, so I can make the big announcement that with Catnip Games acquiring the game, we are going full PvP, open PvP, and full loot at all times. That's a big announcement. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Seriously, not much is going to change in the appearance from you guys. It's really, development should look the same. We're not planning on changing anything. And honestly, this is how things have been working for a while. Is pretty much how is me driving things, including, I mean, I think people knew I did the paychecks and all that type of stuff for a while. So Merrick Dragon just turned in. We're getting ready to leave for Austin. What did I miss? Is that company with Dr. Cat? No. Dr. Cat is a Facebook friend. No, it has nothing to do with Dr. Cat. Catnip Games is just, it's a LLC I have had and let expire and brought back a few times. And we just needed something to put it under so we could actually have and manage as a small business that did not consume, as I mentioned, tens of thousands of wasted dollars a year. And add risk to the company as well. Let's see. I go down these questions over here. Nubby Earwiggles, still waiting for him's Crafton Pavilion and him's Gothic House. Him's win. Whose hymns should bother? That should be me. Oh yeah, this is good. This morning, I'll tell my stories. I still wait for more people to come in and you guys to add some more questions because I don't have too many questions yet. But this morning I was talking to Maxine and I was telling her, well, Daddy's going to be out this weekend. You're not going to see me Friday and Saturday much because I'll be working, doing some stuff for that silly game I make. And Maxine said, your game's not silly. All you do is stand and stare at a wall. So, anyways, even Maxine, even a 5-year-old notices what I do when I'm streaming. Let's see. Do I have a crafting pavilion? I don't have a crafting pavilion. Yes, the observations a 5-year-old makes. All right. So yes, Nubby, I guess I need to get that for you. No Life 5, will we get an area loot option in the near future? As that would be very handy in some places. We have looked at it, and that's one of those things that we worry a little bit about. I mean, it's kind of like, one is like, okay, how do we implement it? Are we going to add like another key that this is the area effect loot versus the other? Or make it an option and then like you're just going around snarfing up things at all times. Again, I know it's one of those things that you guys see a lot when you're in some of these situations, especially control points, that we don't really see that much. But it is also one of those things we worry a little bit about in terms of like performance and server performance and, can't you just hit E a few more times? But yeah, I get it. You have to like mouse over, and sometimes it can be tough to mouse over them. But Dark and Obscuro, does Catnip Games have a website? Yes, it's called www.shroudoftheavatar.com. I can type it in chat if you want it. It does not have its own website. I do have the URL reserved. It's one of those frustrating things too, as I've mentioned it. I may have mentioned this before, but it is. I've used Catnip Games forever. Like I won't say every place I have it because then you guys will submit to spam bots or whatever. But at some point, a company I think in Germany, made a game using the company name Catnip Games. They did the Bomberman port to Xbox. And so for a while I had to compete with those guys for Catnip Games. But they vanished, so. Lancermain, it says you established Catnip Games, so is it your company? So yes, I am the owner of Catnip Games and also Shroud of the Avatar. But again, nothing really is changing. Don't think that there's some massive thing that's going to happen, or that I'm suddenly going to sell to EA or whatever crazy rumors you want to start. This is one of the things why we hadn't been talking about, is we knew that a lot of people would be immediately start speculating, but nothing is going to be changing. I think people have seen that I've taken a bigger role over the last 8 months, basically since February-ish of this year. I'll continue to have a bigger role and probably drive a little bit more. But other than that, there's not much change. I mean, Star's still managing scheduling, and we're working together on the task. And Richard is still giving feedback and playing the game, and talking about episode 2 stuff that we want to make sure we get in there. Griffler. But yes, so I own Catnip Games, but that was really just, I'm the management company. I mean, another one of the things we had that was painful before is we had a long-term contract with a payroll company that cost us, again, several $1,000s a month. I mean, we were wasting 10 to 20% of our payroll of what we brought in on various things, from payroll to filings and stuff like that. So we ditched that a while back, and I do payroll. Griffler, was this the big news, or is something coming about the release of episode 2 stuffs? So we will be talking about some episode 2 stuffs and what we're shooting for, what our realistic schedule is for them, realistic and wish list. This was kind of the big news. There will probably be some more stuff that comes out of this that'll be other big news, but this was kind of the big news. Again, it's one of those things it's hard to say. I think the people who are on stream here probably are, maybe a little shocked, but aren't upset about it. Again, the ones we worry about are the ones who don't know much about the game, and they're confused, and it'll be a news story, and it'll be on all the websites, in some clickbait manner. But this was the big news. There will be some more big news that comes out of this, though, as I am now able to do a little more wheeling and dealing to try and get us some resources to help build things in a quicker manner and change up how we do things. But that was the big news. But it's the big news that frees us up to do some other stuff. Let's see. Cypher 1 Black. I created a critical bug for the Dragon City thing. Hey, thank you very much, Party of One. Chris Spears of the Avatar. Yeah. Also, that's the other thing, is I own the name Portalarium and all that stuff, which was just part of the deal to make sure that didn't have to go change everything. So we may change stuff like on the websites or the agreement or some of those other things, but not much is going to be changing with it. But Cypher 1 Black says, fixed fire effect from City Dragon. Range is not consistent, and the dragon is not illuminated by the fire as the other versions are. I actually I snapshotted our chat this morning and created a JIRA for Travis for list for this release on that. If he can't get it done, he'll hand it off to Damon if he can't figure it out. Kathy888 asks a legitimate, important question. Can I approve the heraldry? Yes, I can. This is good. I'm almost keeping up with chat or the questions. Oh no, I take that back. It just exploded. Thank you, Party One, and thanks you, Snugsy One, and thank you, Vegas BLT. Hold on. Heraldry approval. Oh yeah. Now I get to approve the heraldry. Can get a little nuts. That was the big news. Hold on, I don't think that's copyrighted. Hold on. And again, for those who are arriving late and saying, what's the big news? So Shroud of the Avatar is now owned and run and managed by Catnip Games, which is a horrible, horrible name for a company. I'm not sure why we didn't fix that or change that or anything. But that is owned by me. As to what's going to change on things, absolutely nothing. Richard's still involved. Star's still involved. We're still doing releases the same. We're still doing episode 2. We're still shipping boxes, which I showed a video earlier of it, but we just had Richard, when we had lunch with him, sign all the pieces we were missing, because we basically stopped shipping for a month because we needed Richard to sign some stuff. But I will get back to that. But as far as the player's view of things, and I've got all this legalese I'm supposed to be making sure to follow, and I think I'm doing okay. But that's one of those things I'm not allowed to say. Nothing will change. Some stuff changes behind the scenes. The visibility to the players and what the players see, if we hadn't announced it, you wouldn't have known. And thank you, Snugsy1 again, and thank you, T-Oral. I did get your stuff out just now. House of Mangar Theater. Let's see. Geromulan TV, would Catnip Games ban me for supporting Hong Kong liberation? No, and I was actually joking around this morning on our chat, saying that maybe we could pick up a few million WoW players if we made sure and clarified that and made a statement saying you're welcome to support Hong Kong liberation or whatever. I did not do that, but gotta look at the marketing side of things, guys. Let's see, what's the next one? Red Hammers, how many shares of Catnip Games will be made available to the public, and what do you expect the share value to be? Do you know what it will trade for? So this is one of the things when we tried to, I've wrote out a bunch of documents on how to present to players, because we've been so paranoid about how to present it and make sure players understand. Again, I know you guys totally get it, and most of you probably think it's a good thing. Just because if you're on my stream, you probably have had a pretty good relationship with me, hopefully. Except for that one guy banned a while back. Sorry about that. But my focus, that's kind of one of the top thing that I kept boiling it down, because you come up, you can write 5 pages of crap on here's why it's awesome and all the cool stuff, and then you boil it down, try and get to something people boil it down, and kind of the one sentence version of what we're doing is moving this to be owned by me, by Catnip Games. Lets everybody on the team, we have one focus, and that is to make the game better and continue making the game better. So stock options, sure, when we get 100 times as many players in, we can talk about that. But no, there's not going to be any public offering or stock options or anything like that. Again, my 100% focus is going to be on once every 2 weeks doing payroll, once every quarter filing some tax crap, and the whole rest of the time making the game better and directing people on how to make that. And that is also, if you guys I've been making some excuses lately because I felt like I hadn't been as productive on actual game stuff, even though I'd been working my butt off. And I would occasionally make the random, I've got some stuff behind the scenes I'm working on, it's eating up my time. Hey, guess what it was, guys? So I've got some stuff I could talk about with Character Sheet and Lewis stuff going forward. Hey, and thank you, thank you, Snugsy1 and Snugsy1 and Sean Butts, and thank you guys so much for all the support for the whiskey fund. The SodaCon starts kind of tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll be drinking some whiskey with people. Waiting to see what I can get away with the wife and the kid, because I'm gonna basically after abandoning the wife all last weekend, taking Maxine with me to go to ACL Fest. Now this weekend I've got SodaCon Thursday through Saturday, and then Sunday I'm going back to ACL Fest again. So pretty much abandoning the wife 2 weekends in a row. And the next weekend I think we're going to go camp and go to Texas Renaissance Festival if the weather looks good. So abandoning the wife 3 weekends in a row. She understands. The life of a CEO. Yes, I guess I'm CEO. I don't even know if LLC type stuff has that type of CEO. I think I'm listed as the only guy on it, but life of the CTOs or CEOs actually getting up at 2 a.m. and working in your boxer shorts, sometimes streaming for 12 plus hours a day. Let's see. Let me get back to some questions here. Oh, so House of Mangar Theater, how's work going on our new character sheet? So we talked over this is one of those things we'll be talking a lot about at SodaCon, but we talked over a lot of these things at our team meeting before last and then this last team meeting as well on Tuesday. And so we looked at the different times, like trying to come up with time estimates, trying to figure out what we could get to you guys. So redoing character sheet, if we just redid the character sheet, that wouldn't take a huge amount of time, but it's one of those things, it would take a significant amount of time, and then trying to make it nice, look pretty and all that type of stuff. And then also we'd worry about any time we change anything, you guys lose your minds. I like the old one better. You know, we change a font to make it more legible, and I like the old one better. So, not all of you. All you guys in chat there, you're all amazing and never complain about anything. So the thing we looked at, though, was we have had on our list of things to do on my wish list forever was adding Lua integration to the game and starting to expose stuff to you. So that's one thing I'll talk a bunch about. Oh, and thank you very much, Taiki. I know you don't care about pretty. Some people do. Well, so if you don't care about pretty, by the end of the year, you should be able to have something. Because one of the things that I bumped up to be my top priority that I'm going to be working on between now and the end of the year. Wait, so the mail system being a Chris issue means it will be fixed. Yes. But is Lua integration into the game and exposure to Lua. And I basically, after talking to people and looking at here's the tricky parts and here's the tricky parts and here's the tricky parts, broke it down into 3 delivery targets. Hey, thank you very much, Catherine Rose. Thank you. You got an emote thanks to Catherine Rose Mega Cheer. Oh, how do I think? I want to think. Thank you, Catherine Rose. But anyway, so the phase 1 of the Lua integration, and again, I'll talk more about this tomorrow at our day after tomorrow at SodaCon, is going to be basically we'll have Lua in there. We'll have ways you can load scripts. We'll have the folder you can load them from. And we'll have ways like command to reload the scripts. And we'll have ways to access stats, a list of stats that can be accessed by it. And we'll have probably the other couple of big things is we'll have access to key hooks so you can tell when a key is pressed down and deal with it. And then we will have ways that you can read chat and that you can print to the chat log or to your chat screen, but it'll only be local. No, you cannot write a Lua script to do the, 10, print, you suck, 20, go to 10. You can't do that crap. You're not going to be able to output to stuff. You'll be able to output to your local window only. So that opens up a lot. Man, I got a mega cheer emote from Snugsy. Thank you. Oh, and thank you, Snugsy1, and thank you, Snugsy1. And then the other thing is going to be a rudimentary way to print to screen. That'll just be raw text on screen. So again, that's the type of thing that should allow you to do. Why am I not seeing my GM crap? That should allow you to do that level of UI. So again, we'll be limiting what stuff you can see. You will see anything that you have like items that add numbers to it and stuff like that. So you'll be able to see a lot of that type of stuff. So you will be able to make, if all you want is ugly, you'll be able to do that level of ugly or a little bit better maybe. But that's phase 1. Gets those basic functionalities. Phase 2 is going to be adding ways that you can load UI and you can do some UI stuff to it. And then phase 3 is going to be, rather than what I would call read-only, it's going to be we'll add some ways that you can execute some stuff. The execution part is the tough part, because as soon as we give you a way that, like, okay, you can bind a key and you can execute some command, whether that's saying something or doing other stuff, harvesting or moving forward for 5 seconds or whatever, then that's obviously straight into bot hell. So anyway, so that's why I broke it down into 3 segments of implementation. One is just get it live so you guys can start messing around with it. And my goal for that is have that in by the end of the year, which I look at my clock there, is 3 months, basically 3 months in a week, or 2 months in a week. So, wish me luck. My fingers are going to be tired. But anyway, so that'll open up a lot of the stuff for you guys to make your own bad UI and your own bad stuff. The other thing I already had people talking about it that was just making me go like, oh man, this is going to be both awesome and horrible to deal with, is just the general stuff of like, okay, well now I can write Lua script that will read my chat input and can output this stuff to send it to a server somewhere. And then we can have a global server so you can see what your entire guild is doing at any given time and see what their DPS is on things and how many experience points they're making, all that jazz. So, but anyway, so that's coming. I am almost certainly going to be talking a bunch about that. What happened to my keyboard? I'm going to be talking a bunch about that at SodaCon. And you're all going to SodaCon, right? Oh, I'm supposed to mention that there are, I don't know how many, like 4 VIP tickets left for SodaCon. I forget what that gets you. I think that's like you get to go on a boat ride and some other stuff. Trip to Richard's property, which I think we're doing tomorrow morning, so probably sign up quick. But if you want to do a VIP pass, there's still a few of those left. I will not give you a back rub or anything special like that, but definitely go to, I think it's sodacon.org, not .com, and you can look up stuff there. And they still have a few VIP tickets left. What have I done? There we go. Apparently undid it. Foot rub, yes. Yes. Austin is not Texas. That is correct. So I sit here wearing my boot edge t-shirt. We are a weird group here. Let's see. Let me get back to answering some questions here. I've got my list of things. Let's see. On Catnip Games now owning Shroud. Again, nothing's going to change. The same people are involved. The same everything's involved. It's just to simplify a lot of stuff and make it easier to manage so we can focus on the game rather than on filing a ton of reports. Investors are still investors. And if Catnip Games does well, then the investors do well. But if you are an investor, there's the information on who to contact on the website. Let's see. And the other stuff that I have up here to do is, what does it mean for episode 2 to 5? Nothing. I mean, doesn't change anything. We're still working on episode 2 right now. When episode 2 gets done, we're going to start on episode 3. And let's see. That's about it. I'm sure you guys have some more questions when I start going through here. But yes, your Catnip Games will not ban you for supporting the Hong Kong liberation. And unless China starts paying me a bunch of money, then I'll ban you. Here's your opportunity, China. Question, can you put some tooltips on the options menu to explain what baking and the other visual options do? Yes, and that's been on my list. I've got a Jira for it, but it's only been high priority, and I've only had time to do the critical stuff because I've been a little busy, not just with game stuff. Game stuff has been part of it, but that press release stuff you're seeing is also the other one. The other big part of it. Oh, and let's see, did I miss you? No, I think you, Snugsy1. Thank you. Thank you guys all so much. And again, you guys are not the ones I'm worried about. I think you guys understand and get it all. And know that I've been, not much is changing. But, yeah, the rest of the community. It's the ones that are scary. In fact, I hadn't even been watching in-game chat. Is there any chatter on that? Let's see. Atos, check Discord PM. I have some bugged items from the Crown store. I don't see any chatter there. Let's see. I do not mind at all pressing E over and over again, but what's the story with loot and chest having some major lag time recently? And I'm only a few hours from the server. So that's probably not anything server related. That is, there's some things we started pushing as we continue to try and get our memory to we're not worried that much about getting the memory down a bunch. We're trying to keep it from growing. So there's some more things we unload now. We do have some wackiness now when an item gets loaded, like you see it in the chest. It loads the entire object. It loads like the entire thing. So it's got to load like some textures and some models and crap like that. Uh-oh. You can't... Did you try after this last patch, Taiki? Oh, and thank you very much, Vahiran. Thank you, Vahiran. Taiki, have you tried on 1049? Because that is the one that it should be fixed on. We had some back and forth on multiple people working on the same thing and screwing it up. That was this morning. That was about 4 hours ago. You're working. Okay, so yes, that's been fixed. So the only one that was working was the Rise one. These should now be working, and for those who have them, I've already entered a bug for that the collision for it, and that was what was causing it, keeping it from being placed, was there some crappy collision on it. Oh, look at that. What did he... Oh, my God. No. Ugh. How about this one? Is this one screwed up all kinds of ways? No, that one needs a ramp there, but that's not screwed up horribly. Yeah, you can place all three. It looks like the Tartarus one has some other wacky collision going on. Maybe that's a local version that I'll have to deal with. It looks pretty though, and it'll get you there. That's a step in the right direction at least. Oh, it looks like he has the whole thing is the teleporter. All right, I may have to go do some poking on that. But yeah, that was fixed earlier, and this will be fixed. I've already got the Jira open for that on Damon. That right there will be fixed, so it'll actually sink in. He needs to go and cut the collision for it, so the collision's actually... I'm going to point at my screen where you can't see. Wait, there we go. The collision should be down here, so that it'll sink into the ground a little bit. And he needs to add the ramps, the smooth ramps, so you don't get caught on the steps like this one over here. Where it's like, hey, I got to jump up every step. Because they're just big enough so you can't get up them. Ugh. But yeah, that should be working now. And yes, that was extremely frustrating that happened. It should not have happened. I'm sorry. The thing that we found was they were working properly in the editor and actually in the client when you placed them. The initial version that was out. But they did not work if they had already been placed. I know this isn't what you're seeing, but that was the behavior that Damon and Travis saw, was that they didn't have collision on them, and so they went and updated the collision on. But when they did that, it broke things. But what we found was if you have a collider, I know you guys care about this, but it's supposed to be some tech talk too, right? Tedious tech talk with Atos. But if you have a collider that is disabled within the object, when you place it, like you pull it out and place it, the collider stays off until you place it, and then it turns on, and it looks absolutely perfect. It sinks into the ground. Everything's groovy and awesome, and you can place it. When you zone in, if it's already been placed, when you load in, it doesn't turn it on in the same way. And that's really the thing that needs to be fixed that I need to go get in there. But it's one of those things that it's been this half-broken state where it worked part of the time, but not all the time. And I'm a little afraid to change it because of what craziness might happen is whenever we fix one of those bugs, you guys yell at us. I'm sure people will be screaming, "You nerfed my teleporter!" For the archers out there, talking to some people doing some more tests. So for those who, I know there's been a few people going crazy. I saw there's a thread of, "Why I quit the game, archery, F you, Atos." It didn't quite say that, but that type of stuff. But I have taken more looks at it. So one of the things is, Archer DPS went down way more than I expected it to. And it is very, very target dependent. If you guys recall, there was the fix that went in for the damage resistance. The damage absorption side of things. So damage resistance became more effective. So it stopped more of little attacks when you attack. So that was one of those things I knew it was going to hit archers. But it hit archers more than I expected. And it hit them even more than I expected in their popular skill ways. And I haven't given away a prize yet. I need to do that next. Which is things like rapid shot and multi-shot. So this morning I went and did some testing and tried testing it with Wimpy Bow, with not Wimpy Bow, against kobolds, against some undead, against ghosts, some other things that people were complaining about to try and get it to a point where I felt it's better. So the thing that I ended up changing was something I've wanted to change for a while just because it kind of felt like it should be that way anyways, which is rapid shot. The damage on that was always 45%. If you just did a normal auto attack, each rapid shot arrow that you did 45% of that. So that was, when you apply that to something that has a lot of armor now, it basically turned that 45% into a much smaller number than if you did an aim shot or a bigger shot. So the change that went in that'll go in the next patch, which will probably not go out until tomorrow morning, is the rapid shot actually, instead of starting at 45%, like each arrow doing 45%, it actually starts at 70% for the first arrow, and then 65, 60, 55, 50, down to 45. So the first few hits on it are going to do some more damage. So they'll help with some penetrating stuff, and they'll up the damage a little bit on multi-shot. So not that multi-shot needed to be vastly improved. Oh, I think I did approve heraldry already, by the way. I'll look again, see if there's any more up there. But I did just go through and approve all heraldry. Kathy888, if you're in game, you may have to log out or something and log back in. But anyway, so rapid shot got a little bit of love to bring that up, just because, again, there's a million different combinations of things to test for, in addition to the fact that there's a million different skills and they can all be used together. So there's a million different ways to, build a class and build a deck and how people play and that type of stuff. And that's one that I think I only tested against training dummies and maybe one creature. And the one or two creatures I tested against didn't have as much damage resistance as a lot of the creatures in the wild. So I think it went a little too far on that. All right, back to the questions. Let's see. Gwendolyn Obscuro, are there still plans to make prize pumpkins? Was talked about lots this time last year, and they shrank down all the pumpkins. If not, please make pumpkins resizable. I don't know. I'll ask. That's one for Beezus. I'll post it in the system design channel. Hold on. Type into chat. All right, I'm gonna get back to questions. They keep rolling in. Let's see. Oh, but anyway, so Griffler, the lag time you're seeing on the chest is probably because it had unloaded whatever the objects were in the chest and it reloaded them. So I don't think that's how far that's like server lag or anything like that. Yeah, we've seen server times. We've always had almost zero lag in terms of server time stuff. We found there's a few things where there was some. Trying to remember what the things were. There were a few things we had that were not properly synchronizing type stuff that people could do that would bog down the server and create 100 millisecond spikes. Some of that came from the if you recall back in the day when you could stack planters and people were going like 8 layers deep in planters, and then they'd use AE watering on all the plants, and it talks to the server for every plant on every layer of the thing, and people would go in and do like water with the AE watering in. Yes, I see you guys raffling. I should do that next. And yes, confirming the thing, the heraldry's been approved. All right, this is for the Wedgie Siamese cat. Catnip games celebration. I should do some chess stuff next. I think the chess boards are probably a bigger prize. Oh, and I can rename the Wedgie Siamese cat to be a Wedgie Siamese catnip. All right, here we go. Oh, and thank you. Oh, thank you, eHondas, and thank you, Snugsy1. Did you guys ask any questions on your bits? There we go. There we go. Picking a winner. Old man here. Are you sure you're the old man here? There's a lot of old men in this chat. Who are you, old man here? Let me go find. Is there like a chessboard or something? Oh, there's a checkers set. How about chess? Is there chess? Is there any like big chess sets? I guess that's a big one. Oh, that's a big one too. I'll tell you what, this next one will do a checkers and a chess set. And I'll have to do it in about 12 minutes, so it's not going to be that long. They're going to rapid fire here. Old man with no spaces. Do that guy. And do that guy. Oh, I got to buy crowns? Hold on. Let's see. I bought the checkers. I need to get the chess. So these are the big lot-sized ones. Game sets. So now I've done cat and games. That's open now. Now you can jump in. All right, let me go send an old man. Well, you guys spam me up with some raffling crap. Oh, this is horrible. I just realized this is one of those where I'm going to have to send like 3 mails to get them all because there's so many different items with these chess and checker sets. All right, send old man some stuff. See, nothing's changing now that it's Catnip Games. I'm still just as bad a streamer. Cat. Well, let's see. There you go. And I'm sure some of the 17 are people I didn't get to yet. I thought I got most of the people from the last prizing I did. Oh, and I think I've done all the boxes for signed boxes. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, thank you, Catherine Rose. Thank you, second time. Oh, that's nice. I got some new stuff in there for adding. People get to thank. But thank you, Catherine Rose. But yeah, so next one will be for the chess and checkers set. And Snugsy1, feeling the pressure. Thank you very much, Snugsy1. Thank you. And Snugsy1, by the way, you are awesome. Along with one other person in chat here. They're in the entire, like, the only people I talked to about this, as soon as I could legally talk to people about it. Snugsy1, and I talked to him and the other person because I felt like they had a good grasp on the community, and I was like, I gotta find, as soon as it's legal and I can talk to people about it, I gotta talk to some people and see what they think. How's the community gonna react? So Snugsy1 has actually known about this for a while now, not said anything. So that is tough, man. That is a tough secret to carry. But thank you. And thank you, Vahi Run, and thank you, Vahi Run. Were you asking a question on there or just cheering me bits? Just cheering me bits. That's awesome. Thank you. Let's see. So let me get back to a few questions here. Again, we got, besides all the stuff going on with the changes that Trick Steve is apparently not aware of. I've also got the whole list of stuff I need to talk to SodaCon guys about tomorrow that I've been going and making. We do these talks, and I think I'm signed up for, oh, good Lord, like maybe 8 hours or something of talks at SodaCon, like 8 different chats. Which is funny because the people on the team, we're trying to get a few more people out on the team because I think people only see like the 3 or 4 of us who are on streams frequently. And so Star recruited a few extra people. One of them's Wizard Smoke. Who, by the way, is freaking amazing, but he does not get on streams much. He hasn't done any of our chats or talks. Like, he hasn't gone to like any of the cons or done any panels. Or I'm not nerfing you, Snugs. I'm trying to figure out how to get your frenzy to make the animals faster. Oh, but anyway, so he actually is a little nervous about the con because Star signed him up for 1 or 2 panels, and he's like, "What I need to prepare? I need to." And of course, like, Star and I get on the camera or whatever and talk for hours and hours, and like, give me a topic and I'll talk for 2 hours on it, and maybe we'll put down like 5 bullet points of things, high points we want to make sure and hit. But it's kind of fun because it's now Wizard Smoke is on some of the panels, I think on Friday, like maybe one on Friday and one on Saturday. But yeah, he was totally freaked out and like wanting to make sure and prepare for all of it. But I told him it's good. That's one of those things you got to learn. It's one of those career things, is learning to talk in front of people and talk to players about stuff. So thank you very much, Snugsy1. Oh, that's good. You're keeping the competition on there. Yes, I know when I was in... when I went to college, it was not for computer programming, because I am also an old man and they didn't really have a computer science degree, a computer programming degree back then. It was all like the thing I was computer science engineering, which is actually chip engineering, and you start off learning assembly and C on a VAX computer and all that type of stuff. But one of the things I had to do, because I was an engineer, and part of their engineering was you had to do like the public speaking class. I don't think they have that everywhere. But so I did have to do the public speaking class, which was insanely awkward, having a bunch of engineers who just wanted to program chips get up and talk in front of people. Yes, if there's somebody out there who knows the VAX, that is a sign you are old. Oh, and thank you very much, Catherine Rose. Thank you. Man, I want to do what's my emote for Catherine Rose? Mega cheer. Mega cheer, everybody. This is good. I like this. Thank you, Catherine Rose, for letting us play with that. But yes, the VAX, for those who don't know, was like an old supercomputer. Wasn't that super? Spoilers. But that was a supercomputer back in the days when the hot the hot computers at that time were like the 286 had come out. I know I had my 12 megahertz 286 with the full 640K RAM. Let's see. Eric Rules, any news on the higher tier rewards program? Yes, I need to talk to Taz. I was just talking to him about some stuff. We're trying to get ready. One of the things I can mention, I can't give too many details on it just yet. And thank you very much, Snugsy1. Man, you guys are excited today. Oh, just because I see it going by and it's one that needs to be answered because I haven't answered it here in a few minutes. So the company changed. It's now a company that I own, and it's a small, it's not like the big Delaware corporation thing. We're not changing anything on pretty much anything else, which is Richard's still involved with the game, Star's still involved with the game, the team, the people are still involved with the game. Like, it doesn't mean there's any massive change. This is something that, one, Richard and Star both thought it was the right thing to do and would be the best thing for the game. That's one of those things that's always been frustrating, and I think Richard gave me permission to mention this at lunch, which is there were people on Reddit who would bash Richard and talk about like how he's stealing money from the game so he can go to space again or whatever other horse crap. I don't think Richard's been paid in years. He's been an unpaid employee at the company. Richard and Star really have always done this for the love, not for money. So, but anyway, so nothing changes. They're still involved. They're still going to be on stream. Star's still doing the schedule. Star still yells at me. That's not going to change. Again, some of this has happened. This didn't just happen right now. We're just now announcing it. So Star will continue to yell at me on streams. He will continue to yell at me on chat on why didn't you do the thing I told you to do, and that type of stuff. So really nothing changes. I was already writing paychecks effectively before. That doesn't change. So really the name changes and there's a few things that change, and that one I'm now open to do some big deals and work with some people. So we can do some stuff like get some CS people in, or work with one of the multiple other MMO making companies in town that has a CS and a QA group, and we can try to work with some of those people a little closer, not being acquired or anything like that. But yeah, so it does. It's got to change some stuff, but all that stuff it's changes for the better. Less overhead, less waste of my time, and more opportunities. Episode 2 is still coming. Let's see. Let me get back to stuff. Man, I'm seeing a lot of 1,000 donations out there. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. I'm reading up here. House of Mangar. To make game better, Step 1. PvPQ. Step 2. PvE raid. Step 3. Detailed character sheet. Oh man, the PvE raid has been on my list of why don't we have this yet for so long now. And actually I know Catherine Rose is out there because I've been seeing her giving bits. But yeah, she was at one of the raids or PvP things where I went there and I was like, oh good Lord, we've got to have raid groups of groups, larger group sizes, something. It's impossible. Tazar, I see your question there. And some of these are already answered, but I'm sure I'm going to be answering them like 100 times over the next few days. Not much changes in terms of people who are in seeded invest. I'm not allowed to say specifics of stuff, but you can contact the email that's there. But pretty much the same thing that was true before is true now. If we do well, you do well. This is not a... we changed, handed Shroud off, and so we could F all the investors. It's not that type of thing. There's actually some type of corporate entity thing. If you want specifics, again, you can contact the other people. The Seed Invest guys, we did notify Seed Invest and they had an opportunity to notify you guys, but I don't know if they just haven't got around to it yet. Oh man, some competition out there. Thank you, Snugsy One and Catherine Rose. You're catching me up because I haven't been able to stream as much this week for now some obvious reasons, among other things, including ACL Fest. But you guys are catching me up for the month on my bits. Thank you. Let's see. Catherine Rose, will you have some more team members to help you with all the work? So there actually should be less work now. I will not have more team members yet. But again, it's letting me, hopefully making me work some deals on my own that I can bring in some more fans. I mentioned it earlier, but one of the things I've immediately started doing is going around and looking at, there's like about 10 games that are kind of in the same ballpark, same type genre as us, that are, you know, some type of crowd-funded or low-funded MMO that they're really actually trying to make an effort. And that's one of those things, not all of them are actually trying to make an effort. There's some out there that are a little scammy, but there's a bunch that are actually good, legitimate, really trying really hard. And that's years ago, like we occasionally support people and back people as one of the first ones. We weren't actually the first ones, but we were the first ones live, and there's really only been like one or two others that have come close to being live. But we never really talked to them that much, and I think there's this kind of possibly irrational fear of like, if we work with them too much and cross-promote each other too much, then they're going to steal our users or something. That's kind of like the knee-jerk reaction. So that's one of those things, like over time I've come to realize, like, that is probably not true. And really what we have is we've got a large number of users who love the game. That's awesome. I'm sure a lot of them are out there, like Catherine Rose, who just gave me another 2,000 bits. Thank you. And Book in Air, thank you for the 500 bits. Got lost in the middle there with the other stuff. Thank you. But anyways, we've got a lot of these like awesome users who are around. They're probably not going to go anywhere if we start promoting other games and, you know, sending our stuff to those guys and letting them promote stuff in our games, like possibly even something like, hey, we're going to add like a section to our forum for some of these other games, so you guys can talk about them there. But those people aren't going to go away. But, you know, there are a lot of our users who got tired, who haven't been back recently, and just trying to like expose them to, okay, if you're tired of our game and you found that it wasn't quite your cup of tea, whatever the reason, you know, we've got like 100,000 plus people that could be exposed to other games that we can help these other guys out, and then they can do the same thing for us. And we used to do a little bit of this, but just with a few different places, like, you know, have an item in game X, you buy it over there for $20, and then you get a free copy of item X in our game when you log in. So it encourages people from that game, like they get an item there, cool, that game gets the money, but you come to our game and it encourages them to come log into our game, get the game installed and try it. So there's a lot of this stuff of, again, we've got a lot of users who love the game. We know that we've got some users who do have shown fatigue or just want, you know, they don't think the content's keeping up with the speed and they're taking some time off. So yeah, let's show them to some other games and have the other games who have very similar problems show them the same, you know, do the same thing for us. So they're promoting to their list of, you know, some of these companies I've already talked to have actually have more people in like their mailing list and more people who've logged into the game than we have. They've also spent about 100 times more on marketing than we have. So, but anyways, so it's one of those things. I think it's good not just for us. I think it's great for us. It can expand our audience immensely for almost no cost. And hey, thank you, aka Theoral and Fakan. But it also helps those guys, and maybe we can help some of these people who, you know, came into Shroud and was like, not quite what I wanted, but yeah, let's talk to those guys. Why aren't we doing more stuff like cross-streaming with them, where I jump into their game, and we play their game, and we talk about, here's the stuff we like, we don't like, you know, here's the stuff I, you know, change, and get, you know, those guys on there. So we're actually talking to some people about doing that. I've got 3 others that have already confirmed that they want to have a much higher exposure to our community and want us to have a higher exposure to their community. And it's one of those things, I think it helps everybody. And it also is kind of one of those things of like, if you're another MMO and you think you've got something, in a same market, and you think you've got something, like, well, put your money where your mouth is, let them try our game, and then, if they like our game, great, they'll stay, and if they don't, they can come back to your game and say, I didn't like it, but feature X, Y, and Z was really cool. And I expect some of you guys to do the same thing. So again, trying to build a little alliance of, half a dozen to a dozen MMO companies out there so we can cross-promote. And that's one of those things that trying to do that when you have to have like a board of directors, and you have to have a CEO, and you have to have a CTO, and you got to run stuff by, and you got to now I do it. I want to do it. I'm doing it. I probably could have done it before, but let's see. I'm falling way behind. Thank you, Taiki, and I'm trying to see. Did Taiki have a question? Taiki, did you have a question? Oh, I missed it. Oh, I can't see it. But thank you, Taiki. Thank you, T-Oral. Thank you, Colin McKenzie, for the follow. And thank you, Snugsy1 and Catherine Rose, for your brutal, savage combat that you have going on in the Bit War. Again, guys, thank you so much for all the support. Let's see. So Naloth also asked, when will we get raids? Oh. So that did not make. We did our what stuff we feel we have to have for the end of the year. Of here's the stuff we're like drawing the line in the sand. This is the stuff we're going for. So some of the stuff, and we may go over a little more tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, on Friday and Saturday at the SodaCon, which we're going to live stream some of the SodaCon stuff. I know we're doing our live stream from SodaCon on Friday. Which crap, I got to get that laptop set up so we can live stream from it. And it's already almost 3 o'clock, and I got to go get Maxine in a few minutes here. But anyways, we'll be talking about some of these things, but some of the big key things that are we want to have these things done. We want them by the end of the year. And we're going to do what we need to do to get them done. One is to have the episode 2 continent live. So not a huge chunk of stuff, but we're going to try to have the must-have is the continent live. The stretch goal is to have a full city, one of the storyline cities, the one high-tier dungeon scene, and one high-tier adventure scene. That kind of set the low bar for the expectations for episode 2. We'll see how those go. I don't think we're going to make the other ones. I think we'll make the continent. So the other one is, and this is on my must list, but it was one that was considered a stretch by some, just I think because of implementation time. I don't think it's going to be that bad though. If it misses it, I don't think it'll miss it by much, but is the dialogue system, the player creatable dialogue system. Which I've mentioned it before. If you Google Inkle Studios, Inkle, I'll just put it up there. So this is a system we're using. This is actually Undone. I've mentioned him before a number of times. You guys all know Undone. He was one of the guys in that lunch video I showed a little while ago. But he actually has his own game that he works on. As well as Shroud of the Avatar. And this is one of those things that seems like something crazy, but it's one of those things he's done a ton of research for his game, and they do a lot of stuff, and he's kind of we kind of have a very close partnership with those guys in terms of sharing information, because obviously he's helps us and helps them. So this is actually what he was using, and really, really likes it. Which is, did I post the link? I didn't post the link, did I? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. Well, anyways, there it is again. But it's a system. It's a pretty full system. We're going to be adding onto it, but integrating it into it so you guys can use this it has tools for it, and it has tutorials, and it can show you all about how to put it together and write it out. And then it also has ways to dump it to text. So basically, what you're going to be doing is we're going to see how integrated we can get it. But worst case is it'll be right up your dialogue system for the tree stuff and that, and then you paste it into a note that you give an NPC that is basically, here's your script. That's the clunkiest version. That one is not super hard, but what we're going to try to do is also we're going to try to get it much cooler than that. It'll either be that, or it'll be select a file, or somewhere along those lines. The other thing we're talking about is in terms of quest and having flag stuff. So one things we decided we can't have. Thank you very much, Snugs, and the ongoing battle. You guys should pace yourself. It's only 9 days into the month. But what we can't have is we can't have players creating. One thing we talked about and we looked through and we did the math on, and we know it'll be problematic just based on our own experience from doing things, is we can't have players setting flags that get stored on the server for quest stuff. Now that doesn't mean that we can't. There's not ways that you can do like multi NPC quests. There's a couple options. One is since these are things that we won't be giving rewards for, like we ourselves, the game won't be giving rewards for. We can have flags that are stored local to your computer. So you'll be able to continue to do the quest, step by step. You may have like a 10 NPCs and talking to them and whatever steps you want to go, and then it stores it local on your computer. It won't be served on the server, but it can be stored on the computer. It could also be just local and temporary, as in when you're on the client, it stores flags and you can have all the flags going on. And then the third option is just you can do ongoing quest stuff just through keyword stuff of, the last thing the dude tells you is when you find, Bilbo, that tell him the rings are here, whatever crap, and basically, having a key phrase like that type stuff. So there's a couple different options that we're going to have. But anyways, you can look at Inkle, you can keep that in mind. Again, there's some stuff that'll probably start showing up with the Lua stuff that may also get integrated into this. You have all 3 rings. Yeah, he's the mascot. Thank you, Snugsy one. Pace yourself, man. Pace yourself. But anyways, that's that, and it's already after 3 o'clock, and I've only given away 1 prize. Okay, I'm going to do the prize, and I'm going to throw up another big prize here really quick, and I've got like 5 minutes. I've got to wrap things up. I know you guys are going to have a ton of questions. Hopefully you guys can filter some of this information out to people. The key things are, if you're an investor in the company, you're still an investor. If Catnip Games does well, the investors do well. For the specifics, you got to talk to them, but honestly, I think it's more clear than it was before. My personal opinion, not a legal statement. The second thing is all the people who are involved are the people who are involved. Not much has changed. Richard's still involved. He's still getting paid exactly what he was getting paid before. And Star's still involved. Roles on the team not really changing. There will be a few things that are changed, but that'll be in terms of us making some business, so we can do stuff like, hey, maybe have some CS people and QA people, maybe have some other partners that we work with on some things, working with some other companies so we can actually promote the game. I know, crazy stuff, right? Episode 2, another big one to get out there is episode 2. Nothing's changed on the episode 2, 3, 4, 5. The only thing that's changed is we've reduced the overhead for the company dramatically and the risk for the company dramatically. Man, so many questions. All right, let me do the lottery, and then I'm instead of resetting, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll just put up another prize. So I'm going to pick a winner. Pick a winner. Gleppo won. Congratulations, Gleppo won. Did I ever send Old Man his prize? I think I did. Old Man got his prize. Yay, Serafina? No, what? No? Serafina in chat, or are you just trolling me? I would love to have Serafina back. For those that didn't know, that was Sarah at the company, who is one of those things, was probably among the most overqualified people for the job she was doing ever. I would love to bring back Serafina. Here's how Serafina comes back. For those who don't know, she was our CES person and QA person, and just great, amazing personality. Was on the streams all the time and super asset to the company. But she was also, I think she had a master's degree and had worked for multiple companies in Japan and stuff, and big companies. And then she came to us to do CS stuff. But she moved over to, at some point towards the end of last year, she moved over to work for Star Citizen, and is now, she loves it. She travels with all the Star Citizen stuff, and is kind of a managery type there, so she's probably more at the level she should be at. But I would love to bring Serafina and Gix back. I'm not sure if Gix is out there, but we've got some people who on the side, without talking to me, players who have been talking to him, trying to get him to do some emotes and animations for him, and I think that can probably happen. And yes, for those who don't know, Gix was the animator who did a lot of stuff for us. He is also, I worked with him at my previous company, and I'm the guy that brought him over, and there's no bigger fan of Gix. There's no bigger fan of most of the people who've been on our team along the way than me. There's a few people I'm not a huge fan of. Not many. I think almost everybody I'd hire back. But yes, Gix and Serafina, amazing, amazing. But anyways, enough talk about those guys. Gleppo 1. Let's see. Are you like Gleppo? Gleppo or Gleppo 1? Alright, Gleppo 1. Oh, I gotta send out that crap. Chess. That's right, it's multiple emails coming up. 1. Hold on, let me send this out and then I'm going to do another prize real quick and wrap things up. Let's see, how about board? Oh. I think I got it all. 2. All right, let me give you guys something exciting now. Maybe now that they actually kind of work here, I'll do it's one of those tough things. You can actually place these teleporter things. You can place them on a lot. These are, people have asked, like, why are they crazy price? Okay, because these were the initial ones I got out that basically I had to do to convince some people on the team that people want these. They're selling convenience, which is what we want to sell, is convenience, not power, wherever possible. And so I did these with assets that, like, I found on the webs with just a bunch of cleanup work on them and redoing materials and crap like that. Prove they work. So now that we've proven that people actually want them, these were the ones that were also aimed at pots. For people who want to decorate their pot and make their pot even more fabulous. You know, you got all your shrines and you got your crafting pavilions and you got your, like, oh, here's the teleporters, and it makes it great because you can just, like, meet up in your town and then you go straight into the teleporters and everybody can get there quick. And yes, you could all use teleporter scrolls, so I guess in a way I'm hurting the teleporter scrolls. Sorry, Jack. But yeah, so it helps those guys. So these are the big pretty ones. There will be some smaller lot-sized ones that will be like, I don't know, like 1,000 crowns or 900 crowns or something like that when they come out. That will not be as cool looking, but they'll have the same functionality. These are the ones you can put on there because it makes your town super sexy and cool. You know, and these are also things that are kind of precursors to one of the other things which is coming, but not on the end of year list, which is the pot dungeon. Oh, and that reminds me, since I know Tazar's out there, and I'm sure he's one of the people who's yelled at me, the elf rooms, I finally tracked down what the problem is. Undone is going to work on a fix. And we will have that out, which is basically just pretty easy to tell once looking into it, which is the path finding. The nav mesh was not being generated for those. But I'll give away Teleporter to the Rise here to start, or to end the show. I should do more, since you guys have been so amazingly generous, but I'll get you guys on the next stream and try to be extra generous for you guys. You should, Red Nexus, you should be able to place them all now. There's a couple issues. The Tartarus one, I think still, it has some collision problems of you. Looks like things were messed up on, so you can't get to the thing in the middle. You can place it now, but you can't get to the little teleporter thing in the middle, but you can click anywhere on it and teleport. So it still looks cool. You can place it. It also floats a little bit. I've got Jer's entered on all those things, and I'll be taking care of those. But anyway, so we'll do one for the Rise here that you can place. I think it'll just barely fit on a village lot. So you can put it like on a village lot if you got an extra village lot. You want to slap it down. Or you can just take it to your pot, put it down. You'll have to, they'll have to make you, whatchamacallit, you know, not the governor, but the other thing. Whatever. But anyway, so then you can place it down. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to rip the Heritage No Trade thing off this. So I'll give it to you guys, and it'll be a special one. Because I got to rip it off to send it to you. So anyways, guys, that timer that just went off, that my wife just walked in and shut off, because she just got home, is the Go Get Maxine. And I could send the wife, but I always get Maxine. That's one of the things that makes me happy. So I'm going to go do it. Even though she got home early enough to do it. But anyways, I need to allow entries. But I didn't wipe anything, so if you were entered in the last one, you're already still entered in this one. And Gleppo won. Yes, gotcha. Finally. See, that's all because of Catnip Games now. See? You never would have got that with Portalarium. Right? See, Gleppo? Huge fan. I don't think that's how it works. Anyways, you guys should all be entered, but again, this is one that I will rip the no trade thing off of, so it'll be a special one that you can give to your whoever owns your pot or whatever. And again, the player pot or lot-sized versions will be coming soon. They'll be much lower price. So I'm not telling you don't buy them. You know, especially now, would love to have lots of purchases in game to show support. Because I'm sure there's some people who don't know the team well enough to, you know, and will be a little freaked out by this change, by this announcement. But definitely appreciate any sales that or any purchases you guys make right now more than ever. Just to counter the people who don't know. All right, I think you guys have had enough time. I'm going to do the thing, and then I'm going to go get the baby. Gleppo 1, you've drawn my name 2 times when not doing a real raffle. Oh, maybe I'll tell you what, if you win this one, then we will, I'll give it to you. I'll give you a copy, and I'll give a second person a copy. Here we go. You guys ready? Bam. Strider Green. You, sir. You, sir, are a winner. And I did not let's see, Strider Green. That's probably Strider Space Green, right? Yeah. Congratulations, Strider Green. You get not only a teleporter, but you get a special teleporter that I have to go and remove the heritage flag from. And I have to remove the no trade flag from. Bam. Grats. All right, now I've got that sent to you, Strider Green. Thank you. Again, guys, thank you so much. Oh, and I should have done all along, I should have been doing like specials, like public day 1. Let's see, does that look okay? I'll just do the same one I did last time. I think I got the last one out. I think there's like one person, maybe I have a few emails left right now. I will get to these first thing tomorrow morning, though, these 17 emails that I have. But I think I'm mostly caught up. I know a couple of those are thank you emails, but if you guys want to do any of those things there and show your appreciation and support for Catnip Games and Shroud of the Avatar, much appreciated. Guys, again, thank you. Whoops, I just did the little shake the screen that hides all the windows. There we go. Again, thank you, and let me find somebody to raid, and then I got to run out the door. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na. And let's see. House of Mangar, you just raided me at the start there. I'm going to give you a raid back, although I see there's an Angry Brit in there. Some new peoples are in there. I like seeing new people in there. And Party of One, but I think Party of One just... did you win something? No, you gave me bits. All right, well, House of Mangar started off, he started streaming like minutes before I did, and then I jumped in and stole his people, and he raided me. So I'm going to give him a raid back. House of Mangar Theater. All right, go. Guys, again, thank you so much. Again, exciting news all positive in terms of what it actually means. I know there'll probably be some negative Nancys who try to put something behind it, but again, episode 2 is still coming. All the other episodes still coming. Investors still going to be investors. Richard's still involved in almost the same way that he was before. He's like, I think, board of directors. There's not a board of directors anymore. He was on the board, so I'm not legally allowed to say that nothing's changing with him. But same thing with Star, all the same people involved. Nothing's changed, except that we have a lot more flexibility, control, and a lot less waste now. And we're going to be adding more mojitos to the game. Something like that. Anyways, we'll have a lot more announcements coming up at SodaCon that will be even bigger and exciting news. That's all, again, also all positive stuff. And I will see you at SodaCon if you're going. Still some VIP tickets left out there if you want to go grab one. And go on a cruise with me. I think we're going on like a boat or something tomorrow night if you're in the VIP. But again, I will see you guys really soon. And I got to run and get a baby. Thanks, and let's go raid Mangar. Bam. And